Hello again, fellow stutterers from the Anglosphere. I hope you're having a good day, night, or evening, um, or morning. Um, I talked in a last video about allowing yourself to shock, how it's important not to be caring on or what other people are thinking. That's important to talk just the way you talk, and if they give you bad signals, is their problem. It's not. You have to learn somehow how to be immune to this, because it is very common actually in our daily interactions for people to give us bad feeling. I remember I was oversensitive to this, but at some point I learned to be more to care less about this. I remember at school I had this teacher of chemistry, and whenever I had to talk to her, she would make such a weird face, and then this would just trigger my stuttering, and she would make a even weirder face, like she did something, but it was a kind of, I don't know. It's like she didn't give a shit to me, like this almost ignoring face. I felt so, I don't know, so weird, and she was always, sometimes she would call us kind of stupid, but in a gray zone way, so that we couldn't really complain. She was really toxic, but I remember she was someone that triggered my stuttering a lot, even though I liked her. But she had this potential, this power of making me stutter with her so much. And also, I was carrying, but I remember I was carrying a lot by her physical expressions, by the signals she was sending. And then later on, I learned that in all the interactions I was having, I was always looking for these small signals. And then at some point I would translate this all related to my stuttering. Um, yes, there was some point I was obsessed with this. Every little signal, oh, it's because of my stuttering. And I think I was always a sensitive person. This is something related to my personality, but it got amplified. And by my contact with other stutterers, I think many people learned this as well, like to navigate very well on how other people are reacting, and then we just feel um, so oversensitive also, and kind of fragilized as well, and it is like we're mapping the whole time on how the other is taking our message, on how the other is reacting. It's kind of a meta process, like a kind of um, a meta thought, like how he's interpreting this one I'm sending to them. And this whole operation is very tiring. It's very uh, energy consuming. So, as I was talking about energy in my last video, we have to learn how to re-electrify these. And I think the best way is just not caring what they're thinking, and turn the electricity towards ourselves and see our own speech. If we are to pay attention to our own speech, is to see how it goes, is to see its natural expression, but to appreciate from this. Emma Palms, I think her name. She's a famous stutterer. She writes sometimes, and she says that stuttering is also art, and I think she's very right. Stuttering is, when you stutter, like the stuttering in a language is a very unpredictable. It's very, it happens when you don't want, it happens when you don't expect it to happen. Sometimes you can feel it, sometimes, most of the times you see it coming, yes, but the pattern can be pretty random. And it can be also, as I already talked in other videos, can be very uncomfortable for someone who live in a society, in a capitalistic society, where we're expected to control everything. We're expected to control our bodies. So when you have something that goes out of control, that goes in its own way. Oh, this shocks. We don't like it. But we can also learn to appreciate from this. In psychoanalysis, you have this concept of slip of the tongue. You say things that you don't really want to say, but you really meant it. We don't like it as well because it go against our ego expectations and our ego discourses about ourselves sometimes in certain contexts. But yeah, you can, if you've ever been through a psychoanalytical process, you start even to appreciate this because it's the most human thing that we have. There's even this saying, we are not rational creatures with emotions, we're emotional creatures with rationality. Yes, and you see, stuttering is all related about our emotions, is all related about some very deep things that we know little about. And it pops up, and then in certain contexts when we may not like it, or when we don't fully embrace it, we don't like it too much. But I would say that after I started doing this exercise, I started liking it much more and appreciated even these moments. As I have already told in another video, when I was in Greece and I met this Dutch guy who stuttered very repeatedly but with little blockages, and then I appreciated so much his speech. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful the way he stutters. I also have seen this Dutch girl who stuttered. Um, um, she had more blockages, but also very beautiful. So it's about, so how can we see the beauty in our speech if we cannot allow it to be as it is? So we have to, in order to let it flow freely, we have to allow ourselves to shock. We have to, in communication situations, we have to allow ourselves to talk the way we are, and if someone else don't like it, it's not our problem anymore. Then it's their problem. Um, it's important to think about this a little bit. To allow ourselves to shock also means not to be a slave of what others wants us to be or to do. You see, how can we live under the other's expectation? Again, you have a layer of this that's natural. Otherwise, you're gonna be a psychopath. Let's say, huh? You're gonna be a perverse person if you just do whatever you want. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about a healthy way of living your life uh, in a neurotical way. Neurotical means you are still attached to the human laws. This is a Freudian term. You still, if you don't, if you take these voices too seriously, uh, as I talk in another video, like your speech is ugly, you shouldn't do this, like you shouldn't stutter this way, like your speech is bad, or this person didn't like it, doesn't like you because of your stutter, this person like I'm being ridiculous. If you take this too seriously, and then you're not going to live your life, and then you don't make room for you to, yes, you don't make room for spontaneity. And then what? And then the best thing we don't have. Like the best thing, like I think it's so nice when we can be spontaneous, when we can be no natural. But if we're the whole time doing this operation of calculating what another person is thinking, what, how is he getting this? Oh, this is so bad. We shouldn't, do this to ourselves. Yeah, and how can we see the beauty in our speech if we are spending our energy in this? I think I'm already starting to repeat myself, so I will stop it here. It's already 10 minutes. If you are here, if you're still here, thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment if you can. It's always nice to know some feedback. And thank you very much for your time. And I wish you a good day, evening, morning, or night, wherever you are on the planet Earth.